This is Michael Jordan's GOAT lifestyle. I don't know if you've seen the Last Dance documentary, but one of Jordan's most famous quotes for the movie is, "And I took that personal." MJ says this sentence hundreds of times. He said it so many times that it became a YouTube comment meme, but that derived from his competitive attitude. And that was something that was instilled in Michael at a young age. You see, MJ was actually Air Jordan 2 because his older brother was a serious hooper in his own right. MJ's older brother Larry was always beating up on him in basketball when they were growing up. Any hooper who has an older brother who also plays knows that getting cooked by your older sibling is a basketball rite of passage, and for MJ, it was no different. Before his growth spurt, MJ was only 5'8" as a freshman, and Larry, who was 2 years older, was stronger, quicker, and more athletic than him. And he also had the family hops that Michael would later become known all over the world for. The two would spend countless hours all day and night in the backyard court going at it one-on-one. And eventually, after probably hundreds of L's, Mike could finally beat his brother consistently. It probably helped that while his bro never passed 5'8", MJ hit a growth spurt to 6'3" by his senior year. To this day, MJ has always said his brother was the best player he ever faced. Internally, MJ had always had a chip on his shoulder from trying so hard and taking so long to finally beat his brother. The confidence that must have come from that is what cemented his mentality and attitude of his highly competitive nature. At that time, he viewed his brother as the GOAT, and he thought, if I can beat him, I can beat anyone. So let's talk about how Michael Jordan is winning at life post-sports. Let's jump into MJ's lifestyle. Now, even though Michael Jordan was the GOAT, he made less than $100 million in NBA contract salary. That's because the league wasn't as popular as it is today, and they didn't have the lucrative TV deals that enable players to make $250 million deals nowadays. But that hasn't stopped him from becoming a billionaire himself, with an estimated net worth of $1.7 billion, according to Forbes. And also according to Forbes, Jordan's yearly earnings exceed roughly $145 million. And Jordan's capitalized on his huge stature and popular culture to make millions with endorsement deals. A lot of people don't know that in the 80s, Nike was a struggling company and was nearly going bankrupt. In 1984, they signed a deal with Jordan when he was a 21-year-old NBA rookie. MJ signed a $500,000 5-year contract with the company with an upfront commitment of $250K plus Nike giving him his own signature brand, Air Jordan. In hindsight, that may be one of the best business deals in athletic wear history, because today, Nike has 80,000 employees and does $37.4 billion in revenue a year. And since Jordan saved their brand, that $500K for 5-year contract has got to be one of the biggest come-ups in industry history. The launch of the Air Jordan brand was a massive success, with the Nike Air Jordan 1, the popular black and red shoe, starting an entire shoe revolution. After the ones were released at a retail of just $60, it made $126 million in the first year alone, shattering the prediction of $3 million in 4 years. According to Forbes, it was estimated that the Nike Air Jordan brand is worth $3 billion, and Jordan's current lifetime deal with Nike was worth $1.3 billion by the end of 2019, and that's scheduled to go up. That's just ridiculous, man. Aside from that insanely lucrative partnership with Nike, Jordan has worked with other huge brands like Gatorade, Chevrolet, McDonald's, Ballpark Franks, Rayovac, Wheaties, Hanes, Upper Deck, and dozens more. But the ultimate competitive freak and king of basketball couldn't stop there. My man also earns with major investments. Man, this dude Jordan doesn't even know what it's like to lose. Except when it comes to the casino. Haha, got him! Let's check out that portfolio. First, a large part of his $1.7 billion net worth is the value of his NBA team that he purchased, the Charlotte Hornets. MJ got the Hornets for a bargain deal of just $175 million in 2010, and in just 4 years, he officially became a billionaire when, along with his other income, the NBA franchise exponentially rose in value. The team is now worth more than $1.7 billion, and MJ owns 97% equity in the club. Jordan did sell a minority stake in the club in 2019, but he reportedly has no interest in giving up further control of the equity. Just think about if the Hornets were able to become champions in the next couple years. Think about what that would do to Jordan's net worth. There doesn't seem to be any bad investments in his portfolios. They're vast and include restaurants, car dealerships, a golf course business, and his own brand of tequilas. Apart from these, he also owns equity and has stakes in numerous companies. If you were Michael Jordan, what would you invest in next? Let us know in the comments. So let's check out how Jordan spends his millions. Jordan's steady stream of income lets him live an incredible lifestyle. MJ owns 5 mansions across America. Bro is pretty much the definition of the American dream. He owns 2 homes in North Carolina where his team is based and where he grew up. And he owns 1 in Jupiter, Florida. The other 2 are currently for sale in Illinois and Utah. In Illinois, Jordan owns a property in the Highland Park suburb of Chicago. The massive housing space is about 32,000 square feet, with outdoor spaces that include a pool and a basketball court, and the whole property covering a whopping 56,000 square feet. The house is currently selling for $14.8 million. It has 9 bedrooms and 19 bathrooms. That's a lot of dumps you could take in there, man. And the house has been on the market since 2012, so it seems there's not too many takers to live in his heiress's leftovers. Next up is the house in Jupiter, Florida, which has its own personal golf course that he bought for $4.8 million in 2013, and he spent $7.6 million renovating. The Chicago Bulls legend used to spend a lot of time there, but not so much anymore. MJ also has a lakefront home in Cornelius, North Carolina that he bought for $2.8 million in 2013. This house has 6 bedrooms and is on the Peninsula Golf Course, a luxury country club, and it's just 22 miles from where the Hornets play. And everyone knows that MJ really loves golf, man. Something happens to men when they turn 50 that just makes them love it. Kinda like the male equivalent of menopause. Call it golf-a-pause. But Jordan has another North Carolina property. The whole 7th floor of the luxurious Trust Condos building is his and his alone, and is about 7,000 square feet. And rumor has it that MJ is living in the same building as LaMelo Ball. But what about the car market? I know Jordan knows a thing or two about this as well. Let's check out his collection. Cars. Jordan has a classy taste in cars and has a stacked garage. First, we gotta talk about his Corvettes. When Jordan got to the league, one of his first marketing deals was with Chevy, and his first car was just a $6,000 gift from them, a Chevy Corvette C4 in a metallic gray color. But although the cash value of that gift wasn't that high, it was the beginning of a love connection between Jordan and Corvettes. The next starter he bought from the brand was a $30,000 Corvette SRI, 40th anniversary edition, in a bright cherry red. And we gotta keep in mind with these car prices that you gotta adjust for inflation. And guess what? I bet you didn't know, Corvette was actually a dying brand before Jordan got on board with them. His popularity and putting Corvette in the public eye not only solidified the Corvette as a classic American car, but it also confirmed Jordan's incredible marketing power. Another Chevy brand that was eager to please Jordan was Cadillac. In 2005, when he bought his custom red Cadillac XLR-V, the general manager of all of Cadillac, Jim Taylor, personally delivered it to his house. This whole ride cost him a cool $100,000. Aside from the Vets and Caddies, Jordan owned a 1989 Porsche 930 Turbo Cabriolet in bright white that cost him 170 racks, and a cute little red Porsche 993 Turbo S that cost $375,000. On top of these, Jordan also has an Aston Martin DB7 Volante, but he can't really sell it because unfortunately the value's gone down from $153,000 at purchase to just $30,000 at resale, and that's only if it's in perfect condition. Bro also has a regular 1991 Toyota Land Cruiser J80 in Hunter Green, which was only about $20,000 at the time, but now would run $85,000 if you wanted to sell it. And Jordan was known for whipping around a black Ferrari 512 TR when he was playing. Now this classic ride ain't in his collection anymore, as he recently sold it for $990,000, and I wonder if he sold it to a Ferrari fan or a Jordan fan. I guess we'll never know, maybe both. But these last 2 cars truly are the crown jewels of MJ's collection. The first is a McLaren Mercedes SLR 722, and as you can see, this is a truly stunning car. This car goes 0 to 60 in 3.6 seconds and has a top speed of 209 miles per hour, but that's just under the hood. On the outside, the car is finished with a crystal crystal antimony gray paint job with custom 19-inch black rims. Man, this is a sexy car and worth every penny of that 700 grand that it's worth. And last, but definitely not least, is Jordan's Bugatti Veyron Sang Noir. Only 12 of these beautiful cars exist in the entire world, and an elite dozen called the Black Bloods, which is what Sang Noir translates to. Every single one is black with a bright orange interior, and it has 1,001 horsepower and can go 0 to 60 in 2.5 seconds, and has a top speed of 252 miles per hour. This car costs upwards of $2 million, and unlike a Bentley, this car definitely holds its value. And you may notice that most of these cars are from the 80s and 90s or early 2000s. Where's the Ferraris from last year or this year? Well, that's because MJ has actually been incredibly discreet with his spending since he retired from the NBA. Who knows what kind of other whips he has in his stable these days? It's believed that Jordan is one of the high-profile Bugatti customers who owns the rare Type 57S Atlantique, which only had 4 ever produced, with one being sold for $30 million at an auction. And if we listed every single Ferrari and Corvette that Jordan owns, man, this video would be 40 minutes long. Bro got a crazy collection. But if it was me, I'd already have all those car keys mixed up, man. Luckily, I just got one car, and it's just a regular Chevy. Anyways, if you're looking for a mathematician to calculate the total cost of the cars I just listed, don't. Because our research team here at the Great Place It Takes has already spent countless hours in our lab figuring it out. This dude's entire car collection cost about $6 million. Unless he's the rare owner of the Atlantique, in which case it'll be worth $36 million. Incredible. But it's also just a fraction of his billion-dollar wealth. So how else does he spend it? On more transport, of course. But MJ isn't just king of the roads. To facilitate travel and make life easier, Jordan bought a used 19-passenger 2005 Gulfstream G550 private jet. Jordan later made several changes to the aircraft, building a bar, cigar station, and entertainment inside. Also, he had the plane repainted in an elephant print style to match his Nike Air Jordan 3 basketball shoes and added the Jumpman logo to the tail. We've seen plenty of people match their car to their kicks, but imagine matching your private jet to your shoes. That's crazy. This sexy machine cost Jordan $50 million. Sheesh. But what about when you get bored of your supercars and private jets? Then how do you get around? By teleportation? Nah, but I bet MJ will be the first to have that when it comes out. Jordan also loves to get around in boats. His love for the sea made him purchase a sleek super yacht worth a cool $80 million. This yacht is 230 feet long and comes with a full-length basketball court. He also owns another $8 million fishing yacht called Catch 23. But Jordan's life isn't just about spending on himself. He also likes to spend on others too. Charity. Jordan won the hearts of fans not only by his good looks and fadeaway, but also by his desire to consistently give back to the community. He's donated millions to over 23 charities benefiting the children of Chicago. In 2016, Jordan also pledged 2 large donations to the NAACP Legal Defense Fund and the International Association of Chiefs of Police's new Institute for Community Police Relations. In 2018, he donated $2 million to Hurricane Florence relief efforts. In 2019, he donated $7 million to open 2 medical clinics in Charlotte. And he also donated over $2 million of his earnings from The Last Dance to feeding America's food banks in Chicago and the Carolinas. And lastly, in 2020, Jordan and Nike's Jordan brand pledged to donate over $100 million in 10 years to organizations that are fighting for racial equality, social justice, and greater access to education. That's amazing, man. He really cares about touching people's lives. So he must have been an incredible husband, right? Love life. Now, Jordan got married in 1990 to Juanita Vanoy after being introduced by a mutual friend, but their relationship was always rocky. A year after getting together, they got engaged. Then they called off the engagement, but got married spontaneously in Vegas a year later. Then, in their 16 years of marriage, they were blessed with 3 beautiful children. But Juanita filed for divorce in 2002. Then she withdrew the petition, and then she went through with it after all in 2006 and walked away with a cool $163 million. She came up with a bag. So how was she able to get so much? Because despite how much the world wanted to be like Mike, Jordan was an erratic man who wasn't always a good husband. Besides the fact that he was famous for gambling to a crazy extent, having once bet $100,000 on a game of rock, paper, scissors, and gambling houses on golf matches. Here are two things that came up in court that contributed to the settlement being so high. Once, Jordan spent $57,000 on a gambling debt, which he paid out to a known cocaine dealer and then got called out by the authorities for it. Jordan lied to the authorities and said that it was for a personal loan. But when pressed under oath, Jordan came clean, and he also had multiple affairs, most notably with a waitress named Carla Knaffel, and many speculate that their divorce was brought on by the fact that Carla was trying to extort Jordan for money to keep the affair a secret, much like they did to my man Mello. Even after he'd given her $250K, she kept coming back for more, and Juanita was fed up with the drama and humiliation. But one interesting part of his romantic past is Jordan's connection with actress Amy Hunter. He and Amy dated on and off while he was dating Juanita on and off, and he truly loved her, but he had to end their relationship when Juanita became pregnant. And we know this because he wrote her a 20-page love letter telling her how much he loved her, but that he needed to stay with Juanita because he needed to show the world that he was a dedicated father and role model. Gotta be the dedicated father for them brands, man. He even said that he loved them both so much that he wanted to move to Utah and practice polygamy with both of them. But no cap, this letter showed a whole new side of Jordan. A man who's tender-hearted and loving, who craved deep connection and family with as many people as he could find it with. But he couldn't have it because the pressure to be Michael Jordan was just too much. Maybe that pain is what he was pushing down with all the gambling, drinking, drugs, and even to an extent, his pure obsession with winning and basketball. Anyways, I'm pretty sure MJ isn't writing no 20-page love letters again because Amy sold the letter at auction for 2 bands only, and they were recently resold for 25 bands along with poems and musings he wrote in high school. Man, that's just foul. Jordan hasn't commented on the sale of his old writings, but I wonder how that makes him feel to have people he once trusted turn around and sell such intimate things just to get a quick buck. But on a happier note, Jordan hasn't given up on love. In fact, Jordan married American-Cuban model Yvette Prieto in 2013, and they welcomed twin daughters, Victoria and Isabel, in 2014. Maybe it's not too late to settle down in Utah after all. Who knows? Haha. Here at the GPT, we're happy if Jordan is. And if you want to check out more videos on NBA luxury lifestyles and commentary on the league, click on this link right here, man. Let's go!